Perfect. I guess thank you for coming out here. And I guess the first thing, could you introduce yourself and talk about, and then say which groups you were in back in the day?
Sure, my name is Billy Lee, and I performed with a few groups. The first one was the Temptations, and then from there I went to the Funatics, and then I went to Act 3, and that was about it. I only played with 3 bands in 43 years.
And I guess starting off a little bit about just you first. Growing up, were you surrounded by music, or did your parents or did you have siblings that listen to music, or relatives?
My father loved music, but couldn't have a tin ear. He couldn't hear nothing. So he bought me a set of drums, and then we went on the amateur hour years ago, but we never won. And then I started playing in the house. Never took lessons. Everything is by ear. And we got together with bands for nothing, no getting paid. And then I got married, and then I needed a job for money. And the Temptations called me up, Bob Moore, and he said, "We're having a band. We're going to have a band." And he says, "You want to join us?" Of course. So we went on the road immediately. Went to Philadelphia, stayed there for 3 years, and then we went all over Philly. And then after about 7 years, I quit that, and then I got into the Funatics. And the Funatics were together about maybe 11 years. We traveled all over the country, and started in the Garden House, all over Lyndhurst. Just kept traveling. That's all. Then we broke up, and then I joined the Act 3 with Susie and Paul. And I was with them for 10 years. And then I says, that's about it for music, because I got to get a job for Social Security and benefits. And I joined the Garden State Parkway. And I worked there for 15 years. And here I am.
I guess going back to the Temptations real quick.
Yeah.
Bob asked you to join the group?
Yes, him and John came to my house and said, "We're starting a group, the Temptations, and would you like to join?" I said, "Of course." And we practiced, and we played for I think 3 years, and then the black group, the Temptations, made My Girl, and the union came in and said, "You're going to have to change your name." So he says, "Why?" Because they registered their name as the Temptations. So Bob had to change it to Bob Moore and the Temptations. And we stayed with that for the next 4 or 5 years.
And the first record you guys made, did you guys write that, or?
John wrote it. John wrote Mad at Love. I forget the name, it's been so long ago. And he made about five songs. But none of them made it. None of them ever made it. And then I made Wise Guy with the Funatics, and the fellow who managed the group at that time was Payola. And WINS wins Murray the K. You had to pay $500 for him to play records. So he played my record, and I was the only one that heard it as I was going to work. And I told the guys in the band, I said, "Did you hear the record? I heard it." "No, we didn't hear nothing." So the manager, I told him, he called up the company, the radio station, and says, "Can you play it again?" He says, "You know what I have to play it again," which he never paid. So he threw the record away. And they played 5 records that night, every Friday night I think it was. And the one they voted on the best was us. And we won the 1 out of 5. And he still wouldn't pay the money. So they threw the record away. So my career went from there to there in about 10 seconds. But it was a great career. Had a lot of fun.
And then I guess with the Temptations, that first experience going to the recording studio to make those records, how was that?
Oh, that was great. It was something new to me, new to all of us, make a record in a regular studio. And I was playing the drums, and it was fun. You can't explain it. It was just so long ago, you know. Yeah. It was fun. What can I say? Everybody sang except me. I didn't sing. in that band at that time. But they were singing. John wrote a lot of songs, but nothing ever made it. Nothing ever made it.
Do you remember what studio it was, or
Oh, God, no. New York somewhere.
New York somewhere?
One of those studios. I don't even know where we took these pictures. I don't even know where we took them. They took it too many years ago. You're lucky I'm talking to you.
And then when you were after when you were to Temptations still, do you remember what shows you did with them, or?
No, it wasn't shows. It was Temptation was all vocal. We were the best, not patting myself on the shoulder, but we were the best group to ever hit Philly area. We started at 9 o'clock. It was 9 to 2. And if you weren't there by 7 o'clock, you wouldn't get a seat. There was lines around the building. You thought we were Elvis Presley. I mean, the crowds we drew were fantastic.
You guys have the Elvis haircut in that photo.
You see it? Yeah. They were a great group.
Yeah.
A great group. And they were a great bunch of guys. And they're all gone. Everybody I played with is gone. I'm the only one hanging in there. I don't know why. Got to be a reason. But it was fun. It was fun.
And I guess after you guys break up as the Temptations, was it you formed the Funatics right away, or did you wait a little bit?
I'd say yes. About a month later, I met the comedian, Carmine, and he said, I'm getting a group together, you want to play? And I said, of course. So we went from there to that, and we traveled all over the country. We were in every state. We were in Alaska. We played for the troops, and it was very cold. You feel like a mole in Alaska. You can't go up above because it's cold. But that was enjoyable. My career was enjoyable. I'm still nobody, but I enjoyed it. Excuse me.
Touring the country was really fun, though.
Yeah, it was good. I drove a lot. That's all we did was drive. And now I'm petered out with driving. So I still do DJ work now. I quit the drums, and my wife said, take over why don't you do DJ? I said, I never did that. So she said, try it. So I've been doing it now for about 9 years. And I just got 27 jobs at a nursing home, which I play for all the old timers, to make a room for me. But that's fun, because I play the music that I grew up with at the nursing homes, not this new stuff. I play the old stuff, Sinatra, Blue Blade, Bennett, Mel Torme, Nat King Cole. This is what I like. This is what I grew up with. And I keep doing it, and they like it. So I get a lot of work out of that, and thank God for that. I still have my voice, not as high as it used to be, but it works. So that's all I care for.
That's very cool. I guess playing for those guys, have you ever played the records you made for them, or?
No, I still have records home. Not a lot, I have one. And like I said before, my friend gave me an album from Germany. And guess who's on the album? Me, Billy Lee and the Funatics. Here these people are making a lot of money, and here I am listening to my song and nothing. But I still have the album. At least my record's on an album. But it's a shame that I never got it, because the record was a great record.
Wise Guy?
Wise Guy was a great record. Just in the nick of time. I don't want to make you cry, little girl. I want to learn how to twist, when Chubby Checker was out. But none of them caught on. But that's the way it goes.
They should have definitely been hits. Wise Guy had hit written all over it.
It was. It was a great written song, done well, and performed well in the studio. I mean, you couldn't ask for nothing better. It was just well done.
Do you remember that? I guess that process, recording that song? Do you remember the process recording that one? Wise Guy?
What do you mean?
Oh, like when you went to the studio and recorded that one. Because you said...
No, we had a girl with a very high voice who was in the background. I don't know her name. It's been so long. But there was a nice, they had a group. Who the group was, I don't know. They sang behind me, and this high girl, the girl with the high voice, she sang beautiful. And she made the record. And I tried to sing that song today, but I can't hold the notes. Old age sets in, you know.
So I guess with the Funatics, you guys Were you guys more of a just a band over like a vocal group? Because
Yeah, the Fanatics was more singing. Everybody sang. It was like a human jukebox. Whatever record came out, the next day we had it. So that's why people came, because we had every song there was. Nobody could answer a song that we didn't know. We knew more. And everybody sang great. The brothers sang great. Bob did Elvis Presley. Conway Twitty. He didn't exactly like that. And John did his country. Butchie sang the rock and roll. Kenny sang the rock and roll. And I did all the Stagger Lee and Lloyd Price songs. It was a great time. It was a great time. I wish I had it back again.
yeah, yeah. It sounds like you guys had a lot of fun back then.
It was that. There was no low. It was just happy, happy, happy. No arguments, no fights. It's not like it is today. Bands are not what they used to be. Nobody cares no more. You go into a club, we played clubs in Luciano's on 46. We played the Cottage Inn on 46, the Flamingo. We played so many clubs in Jersey, and the Garden House we started. And club owners used to come and bid for the band to play in their club. Now you can't get that. It's not here no more. It's finished. Bands are gone. If you do have a band, you got to work for nothing, or guarantee him a crowd, which you can't. It's not what it was. Years ago, people had a band. They came and danced. They don't care no more. It's all rap and whatever, you know.
Yeah. I guess going back to that, the first shows you ever did, would you say you were a natural performer, or did you have that like first stage fright when you first walked up on that stage?
No. I it was professional, all professional. I made boo-boos, made mistakes with words like everybody else, but what the hell. But it was fun, and everybody sang good. I can't say we were bad. They learned the song, and they got it down pat. And it was very good. Everybody enjoyed it. I mean, 44 years I played. I made a living at it. So I couldn't do, there was no being wrong. You know, it was just fun. And the money we made was nothing like they make today. But it was great. It was great.
I guess you guys only made those couple of records with the Fanatics. Is there a reason why you guys didn't record anything else, or?
No, we recorded, I think, 8 songs, and none of them ever caught on. There's something that wasn't there. The song wasn't made right, or sang right, or whatever it was, but it just never made it. And we brought it to many studios, to people here, but nobody took it. It just died.
And I guess when you quit the Fanatics, again, how long did it take you to form that next band?
The Fanatics. I don't know, I'd say about 2 weeks. I couldn't take off because I had to get work right away. I had no money. And musicians never made money. Not like today, but yeah, I'd say about 2 weeks. Then I joined Act 3. I with Susie and Paul, the husband, and me. And we were together for 9 years. We played all the Hiltons, Marriott's in New York City, up in Montvale, the Hilton. We even played for President Nixon, who we played for when he lived up in that area in Montvale. And who else? We played for a prison, Rollway Prison in Jersey. And that was a scary thing because I don't want to go to jail. It's a horrible feeling. And you have to take all my drums out of the car and make sure there's nothing in there to bring into the prison. It was a scary thing. But we performed, and the prison is like this. We were there for 2 hours, and we left, and I do the same thing again. Take everything out of my thing, make sure I put nothing in my cases. But that's what it was about. It was fun, even though it was aggravating. And then we went to Canada, the Temptations, and we met Huey McCracken, who was a great studio musician. He just passed away, I think, 2 years ago. And he was a great musician. He played with Billy Joel, the Beatles, in the studio, I mean. He backed them up in the studio when they did recordings. And he was a great talent. And we had him in our band for 4 years. And King Curtis years ago who played on all the Coasters records, Yakety Yak and Charlie Brown, who was a sax player. And somebody killed him, stabbed him in the street, stupidly. And he always told Mac, we call him Mac Pierce, but his name is Mac Huey McCracken. And he always says, why don't you become a studio man? You're making a lot of money. You're not making up with the band. But I guess he liked the music. But eventually he did. He quit the band when we broke up. And he went to the studio. He had a guitar in every studio. He couldn't rub two nickels when he was with us. But now he's got a guitar in every studio. He was a great musician. And that's about it.
Is there a reason why you didn't want to become a studio musician?
Number one, I don't read. I was invited to sing commercials in the studio. But because I couldn't read, that's time wasted. I got to learn the song, and they don't want that. They got to pay all these musicians to sit around. Because Mac Huey asked me to do that. But I said, it took me so long to learn the record. I had to learn it, mentally. And it was too long, so that's what cut that out. But if I read music, I would have been rich today.
So everything I guess all the records you made, you just learned them by ear?
Yeah, that's all it was. But yeah, I heard them, listened to them, and sang it my way. And they were great records, but they just didn't get a break. We didn't get a break.
I guess going back to the shows, you said you went to Canada with the Temptations? And
Went to Canada. We went all over. There's so many clubs we played, I can't remember them. In Philly, we were playing in a band, and we got to this club, Minero's Tea-Bar, I think it was called. And there was an old man sitting at the bar with a glass of wine. And he says, you gonna play something? So we started practicing to get the level. And he says, a little more quiet. And we lowered it down. And he said, can you make it more quiet? We turned it down to almost nothing. And he got the glass and broke it on the bar. He was the owner. We didn't know that. But he said, you guys are too loud. And I says, but there's nobody here. When the place gets crowded, I says, you won't hear it. Yeah, well, you better not do that when you come up. So we played in California in the Playgirl Club. All the girls had to be 6 foot or better, long hair down to a bottom. And we went into the office and we saw the boss. And he said, you see these pictures on the wall? And we said, yeah. You see the ones with the X? They didn't do good here. So you don't want your picture with an X on, do you? We said, we didn't even do nothing yet. So he said, all right, you start tonight, right on time. Very prompt. There was an 8-piece band playing the big sounds, and everybody's dancing. And then we went up, the curtain goes down, he plays 145, and when that 45 is over, the curtain goes up, and we got to be ready. We played our best song to play, nobody danced. So we looked at each other and said, what's going on? We played another one, and nobody danced. So then we did comedy, because we were a comedy band. We did the comedy, and everybody laughed. Then we come to find out that we are the out-of-town band. Nobody can dance to us. They can only dance to the house band. That scared the hell out of us. But we found out there was no problem. But we didn't get an X on our picture. That's about all. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. There's so much, yet I can't remember it all.
Well, it sounds like for most of your life, you had a great time singing.
No, I would do it over again, except for a few changes. A manager, a supervisor to tell us right or wrong. Other than that, nothing, because everything fell into place. Whatever we did well, and the people loved it, and we had crowds. Never played to an empty room, and the harmony with everybody was so great that it isn't today. Not today. It's too much nothing. I don't know what it is.
Perfect. Is there anything else you want to say, or?
I just want to say thank you very much for having this, and still beyond me why but it feels good. I feel like a star. Thank you.
Well, you are,
Thank you.
of course. Okay.